Hi, how is everyone today? I am so excited that you all are on with us. This is our How to Heal Naturally New Year, New Life series. And we have the incredible Dr. Minu Diman from India with us today. And you all are going to completely fall in love with her like I have. Ever since we had our conversation on the phone, all I do is talk about her and her journey and all that she's done, and the way that she explains really transforming what you're going through. And so, what I want you all to do is just relax, okay? Just embrace the conversation, and let's all just move forward together in this. Dr. Minu, thank you so much for being here with us today. I am so excited.
Namaste, Chef Galen. I am so honored and so grateful for all the discussions and the conversations I had with you. I'm in awe of your personality, the energy, the enthusiasm. Oh my God, I'm so excited about this discussion today.
Yeah, so fun. I know. It's like I feel like I found a bestie across the land here. I love this. So tell us, how did you get started in this field of spirituality? Was it something you grew up in, or was it just a journey that unfolded to where you are now?
Well, to start with, one thing that I can categorically say is I don't think anybody consciously decides to take up the path of spirituality. I am sure
Mm.
there might be some leaders who are born into spirituality, but people like us who are living a very unconscious life, who have a lot of veil of unconsciousness, we just get stuck into the matrix where 9 to 5 job, taking care of the family, getting married, having kids, all that becomes a part and parcel of life, and we have no idea there is something beneath, there is something bigger than this. Life has a more purpose to it. We do not even have time to think of that, because we have to pay our bills, we have to enjoy life, we have to have so much responsibilities and all that. So
Mm.
in my case also, it was not a conscious decision to go into spirituality. In any case, there has to be a catalyst for it. Either you lose a job, or you have some kind of dis-ease, some kind of
Mm.
discomfort in your body, or maybe it could be a death of a family member, or it could be losing of a relationship. Anything that is on an extreme causes you to reach out and start asking these questions to the universe as to what is it, why is it happening to me.
Mm.
And there are two choices at that point of time. Most of the people, they go into grieving, isolation. Of course, grieving, isolation, even people who take the path of spirituality, they also go into grieving, isolation, solitude. In my case, yes, it started with grieving, but at the same time, there was there was an unseen force that was trying to help me. So the kind of literature that I was exposed to, the content that I was exposed to, whether it is YouTube or it is books, I was researching like mad. I
Mm.
lost my job, and crazy. I grieved a lot. I was feeling very bad and sad for all of a sudden losing my job and not knowing what is going to happen, because it was a COVID time. And I was victimizing myself. I was thinking there's something wrong happening in my life, because this was not the first event which was shattering me. There were past events which had negative impact on me. It was compounding, multiplying, but then I was just trying to ignore it, keep it under the rug, and navigate the life, move on with life. But this one incident, it completely, as if it came as a catalyst to destroy my ego. And I really decided to surrender. This was
Oh,
one time when I
oh,
said,
yes.
enough, enough. This pattern, these repetitive patterns, these ways of losing jobs or relationships, this is
Mhm.
so repetitive that now I have to learn to surrender and ask universe, why is it happening to me, what is happening to me. And of course, I have to agree that it was a very painful journey. It's not
Mm.
something where you just have, you sit in meditation and you get enlightenment. It is not like that, because as an ordinary mediocre person, I was living a very ordinary life, and not having any idea that there is something beyond 3D. There is a 5D world. We can ascend to that level. So when I started with my, because I am a researcher, so I started lot of research. Everything I wanted was evidential. I did not want to pick up anything that is esoteric. I was very scared of
Mm.
spirituality. I never wanted to go into
Yeah.
spirituality. For me, it
So my
was, I
question to
want,
you, when just before you made that switch and you were talking about how like dis-ease brings you to spirituality, and I love this other quote that you put, you're like quote queen, like you have the like you have so many. I'm like, wait, hold on. So you say like, and then you're also saying like your ego was destroyed. I think that's so powerful, so audience, just like I'm sure you're resonating with this like I am, and you're like, yes, that's actually what I've been trying to explain to myself. So when you were going through that and then your ego was destroyed, and you were talking about like relationships or losing jobs, all the things, that's such a great way to put it. And then you're just asking yourself why. Did you what kind of like, were you just feeling hopeless at the time, or were you like, there's gotta be something more? Where what like, what were you actually feeling during that time?
it was a messy situation. Mentally, it was messy, no
Mhm.
doubt about it. But yes, as you said, initial emotions were full of victimhood. Something bad has happened to me. I
Okay.
was feeling like a victim. But then once I started researching, and there was a closet of skeletons which started opening up, dropping every past thing right in front of me. What is narcissism? What is codependency?
Mm,
Why am I codependent? And the way every trait of codependent matched my trait. So as I said, I wanted everything to be scientific. I wanted everything to be either psychologically supporting my beliefs, or
mm,
it had to be something which is universally people have accepted it. I did not want to go into esoteric and unknown because I was very scared of that. I always felt people are going to judge me. If I'm very spiritual, people will say, what is wrong with her? Why is she going
yes.
into spirituality? Just because she is losing something, now Dr. Meenu is totally changed. I had a lot of resistance. Believe me, I was full of blockages. I really never wanted to go into this. And as you said, it started with victimhood. It started with a lot of messy feelings in my
Yeah.
mind. But I kept researching. There was some power which had a push. There was something which was nudging me towards that path. So I kept getting the right kind of content, the right kind of information. And when I started researching about first thing codependency and then narcissism, it was like a big revelation for me, because most people in my life that I was repeating, it is only
Mm,
the body that was changing. The behaviors were almost the same. And I could actually go back to my childhood. That's when I started with my inner childhood trauma healing, my core wounds. I went back to the initial 0 to 7 years of my age. And in my meditations, I could clearly see that I had lot of traumas pent up inside of me. I had suppressed, repressed my feelings. I had
mm,
no knowledge of how to express myself.
mm,
Yes, I was expressing myself intellectually, but intuitively, I was completely blocked. My
mm.
heart was blocked. My only way of loving was, what if I love my job? What if I love my people? They'll love me back. they'll
Okay.
they'll give me something in return. This is not how universe works.
Mm,
You have to unconditionally be able to pour out that love to your job or situations or people. In my case, because I was traumatic and the trauma was compounding, first thing, I was always attracting narcissistic people. Second thing, because of my own codependency, I was expecting these narcissistic people to give back to me something else. So
mm,
I'll give them love, I'll rescue them, I'll fix them, and in return they'll help me either with finances or with some other support system, maybe emotionally or financially, or there are other ways. Back of my mind, it was so deep ingrained in my mind that the only way I can value myself is when people validate and approve of my existence. So
yeah.
people have to say Minu is good, then only I am good. People have to say Minu is good looking, then only I am good looking. What I am, self,
Mm,
the self was not developed. And Once I started with codependency, narcissism, and then meditations, these were the pitaras that started opening, and I realized that I need to first ask questions to myself. Self. What is self? What is it that Meenu likes, dislikes? Why is Meenu not able to express her needs? Why does Meenu think that every relation has to be conditional? If
Mm,
I give, then somebody, why can't relationships be unconditional? And from there I went back to my childhood, and I could see that unknowingly, unconsciously, my parents were unaware. They did not have very good parenting skills. My dad was emotionally always unavailable. He
okay.
could never hug me, cuddle me. He could never praise me. He could never say I was a star in my school. Everybody used to say she's so intelligent, because I used to bring a lot of accolades and awards, recognition.
Mm,
But my parents never had that connection, that they were dissociated with me.
yeah,
They did not have that connection to uh, applaud or cuddle their kids and say, wow, you've done me good.
yeah.
So, and this was I was totally unconscious about all these behaviors, because I thought I had a very normal childhood, because tangibly everything was given to me. I had
Mhm,
good food, I had good sleep, I had good picnics, I had good outings, good parties. But
mm,
within the four wall, the kind of criticism and the kind of holding us back, making fun of us, ridiculing us, it was a very normal dysfunctional family. But you don't know, as a child you don't know that the family is dysfunctional. You just take it as a norm. For
yeah,
you, it is a norm, that siblings are making fun of you. There's a lot of fight, there's a lot of arguments, there's a lot of criticism, body shaming. She's thin, she's
right.
dark, or always making fun of you, your dressing sense, the way you dress, the people making fun of you. So everything that happens within that four walls, it becomes your blueprint, and this blueprint gets repeated after your marriage, and it magnifies. So if you had uh, I would say 20-30% of emotional neglect or criticism or blaming or unsupportive culture, it magnifies itself after you reach an age of 22, 23, if you do not heal yourself from those initial core wounds.
Oh,
And
wow.
in my case, healing from initial core wounds was so difficult, because there was no awareness of these wounds. I had so many wounds ingrained in my DNA that I had to read every doctor, Dr. Gabor Mate, Dr. Ramani. I had to go through their books. I had to watch their videos to understand why am I like that. And then, yes, I could see my childhood. I had, of course, I spent a lot of time in meditations. I used to meditate almost 3 times a day. I have been
Wow,
celibate for
yes.
the last 11 years. So maybe even my celibacy supported me in going through cleaning my chakras. All my seven chakras
Mm,
were totally blocked. My root chakra was so blocked. I had so many fears of money. I
mm,
always felt that I will never be taken care of, because
mm,
organically, your parents, if they have somehow passed on the trauma of lack in you, lack of
okay.
money, lack of affection, lack of love, they unconsciously pass on that trauma to you,
Mm,
and it remains in your DNA till you heal. And then you repeat those patterns. Your partner will also, he will doubly give you that lack. So my partner gave me those feelings of lack of money, lack of love, lack of affection, lack of communication. It only got worsen and worsen with time, and I was still stuffing my feelings. I was still ignoring it and trying to tell myself, no, this is the best way I could navigate life, because I was not operating from my intuitive heart, but I was operating from my intellectual brain. Till all these events happened and I decided to surrender to the universe. I'm today very glad that I have learned my lessons hard way, and I'm able to heal other people.
that is incredible. That is so incredible. I don't even know what to do with myself right now. So, okay, so when you went from your intellectual mind and then you could feel yourself moving to esoteric. So this is a lot of my audience right now. Like they're typically in the professional field, right? We all care about what people think, in our subconscious, conscious, right? And so when you decided to take that shift, you share like it was a journey. Did you immediately, what would you say your first step was? You were talking about overcoming childhood trauma and going deep with that. But did you first start with, you're researching with your meditation? Because it sounds like you make meditation a priority. And then also you're talking about self-sensei. So it was like, it's also just making sure whoever's around you or touching you, you're in your purest form.
You see, when you take this path, you straight away don't jump into meditations. As I said, I was a little too resistant towards taking this path. So while I was researching all about codependency, narcissism, and all that, uh, so I just, chance. It was a chance encounter with some video which was asking that childhood trauma. He was a childhood trauma healer, and just 2-3 minutes of meditation, and he asked us to go back to the childhood, visualize an event when we just felt alone, and how did we feel. That was the first time when I could actually process my deeply forgotten, I would say, emotion, amnesia. I must have gone through
Mm,
amnesia, because suddenly something came up and I was in tears. That was the first time when I understood what meditation is and why this childhood trauma healing is so important. And yes, when I was going deeper and deeper into it, there were people who were falling apart. I knew that there were some people who could support me into my journey.
yeah.
And it was very obvious that there are certain people who just wouldn't understand what you're up to, and they would call you crazy. They would think, what is she up to? Why is she going? But then that's where the resilience is so important. You have to have trust and faith in yourself, the trust and faith that you never developed because there was no self. So I had to at one go develop my strength, my inner strength, tell myself that, Meenu, whatever you do from now on, you are not seeking validation and approval
Mm,
from outside people. Those who support you, even if that is one single person, it's better to stay with that person rather
mm,
than having 200 people around you who just think that you are not worth it. So it was a conscious decision. Once I started seeing that people are falling apart, I myself walked away from few relationships, knowing that these people would not help me raise my vibration. In fact, my
mm.
vibration, every time I discuss and try to explain to them, it goes down. So it was a
Okay.
conscious decision to leave certain relationships, but also build that trust and faith in my journey that this time, Mino, you are not going back. This
Mm,
time, you are going to trust that unknown. It is a dark journey. It is full of darkness. You never know when you'll come out of it. I had no idea what lies ahead, and I was draining my own savings. For me, leaving the 9 to 5 job, I mean, not having 9 to 5 job, and then accumulating all that I had accumulated with the fear that
mhm,
one day my people will not take care of me financially. So I was draining all that savings, but I was draining it with faith that
mm.
there is an unknown force which is helping me go into this path. And somehow today I trust it more than anything, because every step that you take towards loving yourself, once I developed self, there was another step or stage of self love. I
Yeah.
published these two books. One is on narcissistic, breaking the cycle of narcissistic breaking the cycle of codependency and narcissistic abuse, and another is codependency, self love that was lost. These two books are basically solely talking about my own journey of self, how my from myself I had to, because if you're not aware of what self is, how would you go into self love? So
Yeah.
there was no self love. I was always self critical, self hatred, full of judgment about myself. And remember, every time you're judging people, you're criticizing people, blaming people, or finding faults in people, it is the self hatred that you carry deep inside of you that motivates you or triggers you to
Yeah.
look at the negatives of people. And this had happened with me. I was in a job where I was look how universe put me in a department, inspections and monitoring, where I was supposed to find fault with people. Every file that I used to sign used to be full of big long explanations as to why the payment should not be made to this person,
Oh,
because
wow.
there was so much of self criticism inside of me about money. I did not have a good relationship with money begin with.
That is
So
incredible. So how did you take your own personal experience and because it's a shift to actually go through your own healing and all that you do in your own personal life. But how did you take the work that you went through personally to feel this in your soul, to share it to the world and write these books and just be out there?
you see, what happens is once you reach a certain vibration, universe has its own way of working. It is something which is totally unseen, but then people start coming to you everywhere you go. People, only those people come near you, whether it is a party or a function,
Mhm.
or any social gathering. People who resonate with you will automatically be attracted towards you, and it's
Okay.
very amazing actually. Even on social media, people automatically connect with me. I go to any gathering or any function, those people who really, and they might be at different stages, there are people who just externally they are feeling very anxious, depressed, they're full of doubts, self doubts. Though those people, they gravitate towards me, they ask me questions, and within 10-15 minutes they are assured that they would want sessions with me, because they feel so calm. Because for me, I was a totally different personality. I was very aggressive, very courageous to the world. I was very bold, courageous, but inside of me, it was all full of self doubt. And so my there was a split
Yeah.
in my personality. Outside, what I was very different from what I was inside. So today, when I have integrated my past with my present, my weaknesses with my shadow side, with my light side, so today I'm full of light, and i
Mm.
can i can feel that
Mhm.
wherever I go, those people gravitate towards me who really want to upgrade their journey. Some of them have already done some kind of healing, some of them feel stuck, some of them do not understand what stage of spiritual healing they are in, and how to get out of it, how to speed up. Because when I tell them I was through dark night of the soul, and dark night of the soul was not for the first time for me. I must have, now I know. Initially I was not aware, I was unaware. Initially, from my childhood onwards, I had been through dark night of the soul, but I didn't know how to navigate it. This time, for last 2-3 years, when I totally surrendered and paid attention to, yes, I knew, this time I was aware, this is dark night of the soul, I'm going through dark night of the soul, things are going to slow down, I'm going to remain in solitude, I'm going to be completely isolated. I was mentally prepared. So
Mm.
after 1 year of going through all this, I was gradually raising my vibration, and I was confirmed that everything that is happening in my life is for a bigger purpose, and I just need to surrender. Now all that what I have learned, I have also done a lot of forgiveness, lot of
Mhm.
forgiveness, not just for this lifetime but for the past lifetimes also. Every narcissistic personality that I attracted in my life was the result of my past life karmic debts. I had to pay those karmic debts, and it is better to pay them with a smile. Rather than thinking that I'm a victim, it is better to pay those karmic debts but with a smile. So today, when I look back at everybody who I thought that they were unkind to me, for all perceived unkindness. I just look at all of them and I just forgive them.
Mm.
Genuinely, I forgive them with compassion and love. Also, I have learned to forgive myself, because it didn't start from this lifetime. It started way back in other
Mm.
lifetimes. I have to go back and I have to thank myself that I started it in some lifetime. I was unkind to them, so I had to pay my karmic debt at this point of time. So let's do it lovingly, compassionately. But yes, it does not mean condoning their act. It does not mean accepting them back in your life, because now you know what exactly you want. Self is developed. Self love is also developed.
Yeah.
You also have awakenings. You know now you are an awakened person, and you would want a peaceful and a joyous and a happy life. So, for that, you don't need to condone anybody's action. Whatever they have done, yes, it was a past life karma I needed to pay. I have paid it very happily. Now it's time for you to move on and build a new reality in your life. That's
I
how I
love
look at
that.
it.
That is so good. That is so good. I can't even. So, with all that you're going through and all that you shared, it just, I mean, you've already done so much and so much work in you, but it's like I can feel how big and global your vision is. Like, where are you hoping to take your message? Like, where do you see it going from here?
You see, in today's fast-paced world, people hardly have time to step back, take a pause,
Yeah.
grieve any situation. Every situation should be grieved.
Mm,
Every
mm,
failure, every betrayal, everything that goes wrong in your life, you must have the courage to take a pause. You know, people think that courage means something bad has happened and I must just get up and get into the next cycle. I have understood this after a long time of pain and
mm,
suffering, that everything that goes wrong in your life, every betrayal, loss, any kind of any kind of sad happening, you must take a pause and totally process those emotions, grieve those emotions, because even if you speak to any doctor, emotions get, those suppressed emotions get trapped in our body, and once they are trapped, they become trauma, and these
mm,
traumas, they are the ones that are the result of all the dis-ease. So either you process them, you cry it out, you vent out the anger, not vent out it on others, whatever it is, you pick up a pillow, do, I mean, whatever anger you have, channelize your energies, express that, uh, remove it, release it. But at the same time, remember that life is very big. We are here for a bigger purpose. It's not just, you know, to live that 9 to 5 job. The more we contribute to the society in some way or the other, whatever way, everybody here is for a reason. Every soul on this planet has a bigger role to play. And what is that bigger role? First role is to pay your karmic debt. You have
mm,
to understand that all this body you have chosen, I have chosen, this color, this religion, this family life that I have picked up, all this, you and my, our souls have chosen this, the way we are, we make crib, we, because amnesia, we all forget what have we chosen in this lifetime. How do I want to look? Even if you are ugliest of the person, this was chosen by all of us. Even if I have gone through biggest of the traumas, this was chosen by me. Why? Now you would ask me why any soul would choose to go through pain and suffering. Because we all want to expand. Every soul on this earth is here to expand its consciousness, the consciousness that was not expanded in the past lives. If you were operating with the feelings of fear of money, fear of communication, fear of love,
mm,
fear of it could be any fear, guilt, shame, envy, anger. If you were operating with all these emotions in your past lifetime, this lifetime we are here to liberate ourselves from these
mm.
negative emotions. I won't even call them negative emotions, they are low vibrational emotions. Now, whether somebody is a corporate or at a very high position, or somebody is a homemaker, eventually you have to understand, if you're going through any kind of pain, the only way out is to feel the pain, process it,
Mm,
and forgive everyone who is
mhm.
responsible for causing that pain.
That's
First
amazing.
thing to forgive is yourself. The more I forgave myself, the more I found my vibration raising. So if you ask me, how do I help people, what kind of people do I help, there's no target segment, every kind of person comes to me, feminine, masculine. There are people at a very high position, there are people who are just there's sometimes there are beggars I find on the streets, small people who are there for begging. I try to tell them that this is your journey, so take this journey in a very playful manner, love yourself,
That's
enjoy. If you don't have, if you've lost your limb, enjoy that, because your body is there. You got to love your body and your life with what you have chosen to walk this planet on. So in every way, shape, and form. There are friends who really want my free advice. I try to give them free advice. There are people who are ready to pay for my courses. I take 2 to 5 months courses. So there are people who are ready to give, exchange money for those courses and workshops. I try to help. There are corporates who really, because in corporate life, the kind of stress that you go through, the kind of negativity, the toxic culture that you go through, there's only one way out, is to understand. First thing is knowledge. Awareness is the killer thing. The first thing that everybody should be aware of, your own journey as to why this is happening to me, why am I inviting toxic culture in my life, and also how to heal from it, so that you can manifest better things in your life. So whether you are a corporate, or you're a homemaker, or you are at whatever level, everybody needs healing in this society.
Yes. No, that's so true. So in your opinion, do you feel that how do you feel like it's really important for people to get to the why that they're feeling that way? Um like say they're like you bring up the scenario for say a woman's in a scenario, right, and with a narcissistic husband, which is very huge, right, and you were talking about how there's that codependency, and so you have to look at your own self and ask yourself why you're doing that. How deep do you feel like someone needs to go in understanding that, or do you feel like it's just more meditating and getting to that vibrational place of letting go of control of that, and then forgiving yourself in that and forgiving others? What are your thoughts around that?
You see, going deep is a very hard work. Inner work is very hard. It's painful. So I've had few people. I have tried explaining to them. When the sessions go on, there are some people who get very tired because it is exhaustive process. Process those old emotions of your childhood and then your narcissistic relationship. It is usually the first thing that comes to mind is hatred, revenge, anger, and some
Mm,
people get lost in that. They just feel that there is a lot of anger in me towards my narcissistic partner. Because of him, I could not do this, or I got drained, or there are, of course, it's very normal to feel all those emotions. I too felt at some point of time. But then, if you want to remain stuck in those emotions, you'll remain stuck in that relationship. You'll remain
mm.
stuck in
Oh, that's
outside
good.
relationships also, which are similar to the same relationship that you're facing at home. So the only way to liberate yourself from any kind of abuse is to understand, why did I attract this kind of person in my life? So
Mm,
going back, a lot of answers would come from your childhood. It happened from childhood. I was just repeating my childhood patterns, maybe in a more magnified manner. But one thing is clear, that it is your free will whether you want to remain stuck in anger, resentment, blame, and revenge. Then
mm.
your next lifetime, you have to be again incarnate yourself to free and liberate yourself from these emotions. And for that, you'll have to again go through narcissistic abuse or similar energies. If you really don't want to repeat those lessons, it's better this time you learn the lessons, give them all the liberation and freedom, release them, and you move on to the next phase of your life with love and affection.
That's so good. No, I love that. That it's like so much hope, it's like you bring so many solid nuggets, so much hope. So I know, okay, audience, I know you all are like blown away like I am. Like it's like she's literally in our souls, like speaking everything that we're feeling. And but not only that, but she also has given us tangible ways to walk through our journey, which is so incredible. So can you just share with us a couple nuggets of what our audience can take away today, where they can actually start implementing some techniques to really find their purpose in a way of healing?
You see, start small, take one step each day. Best thing is to start just being aware of your breath. Just 5 minutes every morning, spend with yourself the moment you wake up. That is the time for the initial half an hour when you wake up. Your mind is in theta wave. And in theta wave, it's like a child. So anything that you teach your subconscious brain, it ad- it accepts it. So
Mm.
start, because I was the one who used to jump from bed and start my daily routine, taking care of kids, taking care of my office, home. Today, when I connect with myself, start just with 5 minutes, connect with yourself, give good affirmations, positive affirmations to yourself, and also start asking questions. If you are in a good place already, if you are really mentally happy, physically happy, nothing like it. But in case there are some turbulences in your life, connect with yourself. Ask as many questions to yourself as possible. Do not ignore it and keep it under the rug. You have to pull the rug and face those fears. As to why, because in my case, believe me, if you talk about narcissistic abuse, I have tried everything under the sun, because I was a codependent, going no contact, gray rocking, seeing flying monkeys, having all that. Yeah, all that I have seen, all that I've gone through, all those stages, smear campaigns, everything. But nothing works out, because till the time you work on yourself, no external gray rocking or no contact, it will not work. You'll just cross one relationship, reach into another relationship, and you'll repeat the same cycle. If you do not want to repeat any cycle in your life, first start self reflection. Contemplate with yourself as to why I am here, what exactly I'm looking for. There is a very simple purpose of life at the end, which you will understand if you go through the painful process of spirituality, and that is joy and happiness and contribution to the society. If you are able to align yourself with the right purpose in your life, the purpose is to make people joyful, happy, and contribute in whatever way. If you are earning peanuts,
Mm.
out of that, give 10% to somebody poor every month.
Mm.
If you start just small actions like this, your life will magically change. Start loving yourself. Look into the mirror every day. Listen to Lucy Hay. She says, look into the mirror every day and say, I love you. I love you, Meenu, very much. It is very difficult for some people to actually look into the mirror and say, I love you, because we have been into self hatred for so long. It's not about generations, it is about centuries. Women, as I'm not talking about feminine, or there are men also. We have internalized the narratives of others.
Yeah.
In childhood, somebody said, you're dark, you're small, you're ugly. Somebody said you are a person with bad behavior. All those talks you people have internalized.
Yes.
Now, to separate your soul from those internal talks, internal dialogues, you have to change your internal vibration. Spend 5 minutes every morning when you are in theta wave. Increase the duration from 5 to 10 minutes,
Mm.
15 minutes. If you cannot uh, do meditation, even being aware of your breath, every time it goes inside, it comes out, just be aware of your present. What is there in present? Are you able to have gratitude for whatever you have? Are
Mm.
you able to feel gratitude for your body, for the journey that the universe has gifted us, for small pleasures? If you have a roof over your head, feel gratitude. If you have a car, feel gratitude. If you have a family, feel
Yeah.
gratitude. Whatever you have, if you're having 2 times a day meal, feel gratitude for it, because gratitude amplifies your blessings. If you want to see blessings in all areas of your life, live with gratitude as much as you can. I was the one who never knew the magic of gratitude. I was very much complaining, and today I know, after 2 to 3 years, how my life has magically changed ever since I found gratitude in every situation, literally. So my piece of advice to you is, connect with yourself, connect, and gratitude and forgiveness. So much forgiveness is required. We are on this planet to forgive everybody, from anybody, from our parents to siblings to our partners to bosses, anybody who has unconsciously hurt you. They're all living their traumas, they are projecting their traumas on us. So forgive and let go, but live life with joy
That
as
is
much as
so
you can.
true. That is so good. I love to like right here when you were talking. Right, just a wealth of information here. I just can't even get over it. But when you were talking right here, like I have so many, like literally so many notes that I have to like write on the side of the paper now. So it's like when you were talking about like not just walking in a place of joy and happiness, but I love that you also say contribution because it makes you go outside of yourself. And it's like, it's so true. It's like we can get caught up so much in our own healing. And then we're like, okay, joy, happiness, but also taking that overflow and contributing, being that light for others too. I just love that concept in all of this as well. Oh my goodness. Okay, so audience, I know it's like you're blown away, and the generosity of just Dr. Minu being here and sharing all this has been just above and beyond just the outpouring. And but she also has a free giveaway. We're going to put her links below with her website and her books and her contact information and all that. But just so that you can get totally connected with her, she has just a free little giveaway. Did you want to share what that is, or do you just want me to put it in the link underneath?
We'll put a link, and I would love to give a free call to any audience who would want, so that we can start the healing process in case they are interested.
Yes.
The first call is going to be free from my side.
Oh, that's awesome. No, I love that. I love that. As you all can see, just in here, we can feel like the healing and all the things, all the white lights that's around you. Clearly, I cannot thank you, not even just enough for being on here, but really deciding in those times where, we all want to give up, right? But you chose to plow through it. And it's for moments like this that I cannot thank you enough for really going through that inner work that, a lot of us are on our journey, or we're, and I know it's like a lifetime process, but you chose to go through that and not just go through it for your own, for you, for your own self, but also to deliver it to the world, to the rest of us, so that we can actually find clarity. And also too, like your gifting of explaining what even just what I have gone through in life, like the way that you explain it and articulate it isn't just going to our, in our minds, but it actually goes in our soul. And it's not even like hope, it's like beyond hope. It's like a knowing. You give us a knowing, like, yes, you can. Of course you guys can do this. It's not going to be like rainbows and butterflies 24/7, but if you plow through it and do the work, when you come out on the other side, there's total freedom, there's total light, there's like a whole new world. Like, don't give up, don't stop. It's like we feel you. It's like you've got like this tribe of like, you got that. And so I just love that. I love that about you. I'm excited to continue to follow you for the rest of time and really just, I mean, I can't even imagine what more books you're going to end up putting out and what kind of retreats. Your message is so powerful, just so powerful. I just can't get enough of it. Okay, so audience, I just want you all to know that you are not alone in your journey, and we want you to reach out, and we want you to know that yes, you can. So what would you like to leave us with? What are some last words of like incredible outpouring of like wisdom, knowledge, and heartfelt transformational energy that you're just continue to impart on us? What is something you just want to leave us with?
One small thing that I forgot during this discussion was about addictions. Uh, we have so many things today. Of course, the society has given us mobile with everything under the sun, Netflix, Amazon. There's so much, uh, we can go retailing, we can drink. I was one of the victims of this. I always wanted to shut my brain and probably, drink a glass of wine without knowing that gradually it was increasing. Or at times I would want to go out and shop new clothes so that it would make me feel good. Anything, observe your behavior. We have such a wonderful soul. This costume, this is just a costume. What we, as a body, what you see is just a costume. You got to understand that your spirit is residing in you. You have given
Mhm.
space to your spirit, and taking care of the spirit is our accountability. We have to take responsibility for that. So even if you are at a stage where you have no problem in your life, just look into those minor behaviors of addictions. If you have started with any addiction, it's a sign that you have trauma which needs healing. If you have anger, if you judge people, if you have anger issues, if you uh, if you lash out at people at the drop of a hat, there are clear signs that you have a lot of pent up trauma which is asking for releasing. Do it,
Yes.
my friends. Do it for yourself. Do it for your soul. Because I tell you, the way Chef has beautifully described that we are just trying to spread the light. And yes, healing is possible.
I love it.
Every soul born on this planet deserves to live a beautiful life, a life full of joy, and yes, helping others, because eventually we are all born from one source. We are only different. There are psychopaths, there are sociopaths, there are narcissists, there are codependents, there are empaths. We are
Mm.
all different only because of the first layer, that is trauma. It is
Yeah.
the trauma that separates us and nothing else. Once you clear that trauma, once you release that trauma, you see that we are all born from one source, and that source is love, nothing else. If we can contribute in any way towards each and every soul that comes across our life, could be financially, it could be wisdom wise, it could be in so many ways, just pouring love. But do not over attach yourself to the outcome. Do not
Mm.
ever attach yourself to a narcissistic person, because the person is unconscious, totally
Yes.
unaware. His trauma, her trauma is has made them block their heart chakra. So the empathy is impaired. They cannot see you the way you see them. If you want to contribute, contribute unconditionally to people from you, those people, them you don't expect anything in back. Just do
Mm.
it and enjoy the process.
I love that. I love that. I love you. That is so good. Thank you so much. And I
Thank
honestly
you so
cannot thank
much.
you enough for being here with our audience and sharing from your deepest part of your soul. So transformational. Thank you.
I'm so thankful and honored, Chef, that you gave me this opportunity to connect with so many people. Even if one person decides to take this path, my presence today is fulfilled. I am happy that I became a part of this good conversation.
I love it.
Thank you so much.
So good.